The Kansas City Chiefs just did exactly what the NFL feared. So we're going to be going through that and other stories in today's video. So make sure to like this video, and if you want more Kansas City Chiefs news content like this, make sure to subscribe to the channel by hitting that red button down below. When the Kansas City Chiefs won Super Bowl LIV against the San Francisco 49ers, the franchise's motto over the course of the next several months was simple: run it back. Andy Reid's bunch did manage to get all the way back to the big game, but an embarrassing loss to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers deemed the quest a failure. Kansas City now has another chance to join an exclusive NFL club if it can capture a championship at the end of this season, and everyone understands the magnitude of the situation. In league history, only 7 teams have won back-to-back Super Bowl titles. No team has been able to win 3 in a row, which is expected given the yearly parity of the league, the battle of attrition, both mental and physical on players, and just how difficult it is to get to one victory in the first place. Patrick Mahomes certainly gets it, as both he and his offensive line were at far less than 100% the last time they tried to etch their names in the history books as repeat champions. Instead of learning from other teams' experiences, Mahomes said on Sunday that he draws from his own. "I haven't necessarily studied other teams," Mahomes said. "I try to learn from what we did last time when we were trying to repeat, obviously getting to the Super Bowl and losing. Just trying to learn from that stuff. Take the positives and learn from what we didn't do to get us that second championship that year. Definitely looking at that, but not necessarily at other teams." This offseason, the Chiefs had plenty of celebratory moments and opportunities to get the spotlight put on them. Mahomes and tight end Travis Kelce, in particular, had the world seemingly at their fingertips for months on end. The entire team also went to the White House to visit President Joe Biden and company, which was something they didn't do after their prior championship win. Since the team's ring ceremony passed, the focus has been on moving forward. Safety Justin Reid says there's no issue turning the page and working toward a new ultimate goal. "I mean, the page is already turned on it," Reid said. "I honestly probably won't even see the banner go up. I'm going to be focused on getting prepared for playing a football game against the Detroit Lions and focusing on this season. What we did last year was great, but that's last year and that won't help us win a football game this year. It just paints a bigger target on our back, and we know we're going to get everybody's best shot, so we're going to have to play our best ball and be prepared for it." If Mahomes knows how challenging it is to try and add to your legacy with a second straight Super Bowl win, his head coach knows how challenging it is to add to your legacy by getting the initial monkey off your back. Reid, who's been leading teams since the very end of last century, is about to start year number 25 manning his post. 14 seasons with the Philadelphia Eagles, and now 11 in Kansas City. The 65-year-old had a long time coming for his first and second championship wins, and he has a chance to further cement his status as an all-time great coach if his team can go back-to-back. In typical Reid fashion, though, he's taking it one day at a time. "You know, I tell you, it's hard to get one," Reid said. "It took me 20 years to be on that end of it, to have that opportunity with these guys, so it's tough. It's a tough deal. You don't look at that, you look at what you can control, and that's your play right now. You have a good day today, and you back it with another good one tomorrow, and then you get yourself ready mentally and physically to play against a really good football team. Everything else takes care of itself. You just have to take care of business now." It's looking more and more like the Kansas City Chiefs will have their full complement of offensive weapons available when they take the field on Thursday night to defend their Super Bowl title. Chiefs head coach Andy Reid said over the weekend that wide receiver Kadarius Toney is good to go in his return from the knee injury that kept him out for most of training camp. One person who's very excited about what Toney can bring to the table: Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes. The talent that he has, the competitor that he is, to be able to go out there and have that weapon would definitely be a huge positive, Mahomes said of Toney during his media availability via USA Today. "He's done a great job in the practices that he's been in so far, and I'm looking forward to him continuing to step up and be even better and be more like his normal self. Honestly, going out there the first few days and seeing him, he looks like KT. I'm excited for that. He put a lot of time in that rehab process so that he can get himself ready, hopefully, to play in this first week." Toney arrived in Kansas City midway through last season and made an immediate impact in limited action, catching 6 passes for 69 yards and a touchdown and rushing twice for 33 yards in his first 2 games, only to suffer yet another injury in his third contest. That injury kept him out for 3 games and then limited him the rest of the way, but he made a significant impact in Kansas City's Super Bowl run, including a touchdown catch and ripping off a 65-yard punt return to set up a score in the victory over the Eagles. Throughout the offseason, he was expected to operate as Kansas City's #1 wideout this year, but the injury could limit him to being more of a package player early in the year. Considering his extensive injury history, the Chiefs might be better off limiting his reps and using him for design touches in order to keep him healthy. With his explosiveness and elusiveness, he could make a pretty big impact, even if that were the case. Kansas City Chiefs star Chris Jones is a holdout and obviously doesn't like his existing contract, which is in its final year and pays him $20 million. What is the playmaking defensive tackle like? A social media suggestion that he be traded to the Dallas Cowboys, that's what. Andy Reid did not mince words when asked if Jones would play in Week 1. "I can't tell you that if Jones will play against the Lions," Reid said. "I don't know what his agenda is or when he's coming or not coming. But we're rolling right now. I haven't put much into it." Mahomes echoed the same message that his head coach explained to the media on Sunday. "At this point, you just kind of prepare to play the game with the guys that are in the building and let the front office handle that," Mahomes said. "We've got a tough test with the Detroit Lions, and we're going to focus on how we can win with the guys here." It is a next-man-up mentality, and that is exactly how pass rusher George Karlaftis described the situation. "It's always been a next-man-up mentality. That's how it's been. If Chris Jones was here and he got hurt, it would be the same situation," Karlaftis said. "You always prepare with what you got. That's all we've had this offseason, and that's how we are going to approach the game. Whoever is here, that's all we need to win." It's a clear message from those within the organization. The team is preparing to be without Jones for the season opener, possibly an extended absence from the 29-year-old defensive tackle. It was reported on Saturday by Pro Football Talk's Mike Florio that the Chiefs had offered a 3-year, $74 million deal with $70 million guaranteed. Clearly, that was not good enough to get Jones back in the building before the season opener. Training camp is over, and the preseason is in the books. The 53-man roster is set. It's almost time for real football games to begin. The Kansas City Chiefs will host the Detroit Lions this Thursday at G.E. Hay Field at Arrowhead Stadium, and will get to hang their newest Super Bowl banner in the process. It's going to be a joyous occasion for players, coaches, and fans alike, but then it's on to the next challenge. It's not just Chiefs fans that are excited for this moment. Whenever Harrison Butker, or Riley Patterson, whoever the Lions bring in this week, kicks the ball off the tee at 7:25 p.m. on Thursday, the entire nation will be watching. The NFL always boasts the highest-rated shows year in and year out, and opening night of the season is one of their top events. Some questioned why the NFL would pick the Lions to take on the Chiefs in the opener with the loaded schedule Kansas City has this season. They could have given the world a Super Bowl rematch with the Eagles on opening night, maybe an AFC Championship game rematch with the Bengals, or even another potential instant classic between the Chiefs and Bills. However, the Lions are a team on the rise in the NFC, and it makes sense for the league to want to showcase them while understanding the defending champs and reigning league MVP, Patrick Mahomes, will draw plenty of viewers on their own. There has been an increased excitement for the Chiefs' offense as the offseason has come to a close. Kansas City added Rashee Rice in the second round of the NFL draft, and while he struggled with drops throughout the preseason, he led the league in yards after catch as well. Justin Ross, an undrafted wideout who sat out all of last season on injured reserve, has impressed with his play throughout camp and the preseason. Richie James is a new free agent acquisition that has played well early in his tenure with the Chiefs. No one needs to say anything more than their names to get excited about the Mahomes-Travis Kelce connection. There's even some optimism around receiver Kadarius Toney coming back from a camp injury for Week 1. The three-headed running back room of Isaiah Pacheco, Jerick McKinnon, and Clyde Edwards-Helaire will continue to roll right along. The offense will be just fine. There are more questions about the defense as the season opener approaches. Chris Jones still has yet to report and has stated on social media that he's willing to hold out for 8 weeks. No one really knows how things went so sideways with that negotiation for sure, but it has left a sour taste in the mouths of folks in Chiefs Kingdom. L'Jarius Sneed, one of the best players on the defense, was sidelined all preseason with an injury. Charles Omenihu, a free agent acquisition in the offseason, is suspended for the first 6 games of the season. The Chiefs will need a lot of younger players to step up. The good news for the defense is that this may be the best linebacker group from top to bottom in team history. Nick Bolton, Willie Gay Jr., Drew Tranquill, and Leo Chenal are all capable of starting, and defensive coordinator Steve Spagnuolo will have plenty of options when it comes to the usage of these players. The team also kept Cam Jones and Jack Cochran when making final cuts to the roster. This will be a strength. A young but now experienced secondary filled with second-year players will be tested by Lions quarterback Jared Goff, especially if the Chiefs can't generate a great pass rush up front in the absence of Jones. Look for Trent McDuffie, Jalen Watson, Joshua Williams, and Brian Cook to step up again this year. Another good sign for the Chiefs. Harrison Butker looks like he's 100% healthy and ready to get back to form as one of the best kickers in the NFL. Kansas City seems to always rely on Butker in big moments,